At the same time, it could open up and just shoot from there. Interesting to see. I need this next candle to form so I can um, turn my indication on. What's up, y'all? It's Reggie, and today they traded with Jesus. We got our charts marked already, so we're just letting the market show us where it wants to go. You see, we traced out market, how market structure is looking. We're just going to trade their price action, whichever one it shows us. But without further ado, let's invite the Holy Spirit. And dear Holy Spirit, I just ask that you give me the words that are of you and not of myself. Allow me to read your word and get a different takeaway and different revelations that you want me to see, Lord. I pray that you allow me to see what verse you want me to talk about in today's video. I pray that you allow myself and the viewer to grow in our faith. I pray that whoever needs to see this stream sees it, Lord, and that it helps them grow in their faith, their understanding, and just learn more about trading if that's what they're interested in, Lord. I pray that you give me the discipline and the faith to take trades that are smart, that are good, and based on my charts, not to hesitate when it breaks my level to get in and have faith in that. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Because I really feel like the hardest part about trading is just having the faith to take trades, bro. I think it's easy to let a loss or just things not going your way make you feel like you can't trade, and it puts you in like this peril. I don't really know how to explain this. Like hesitancy. Like it adds this hesitancy that tells you because it's like, bro, I mark these levels because I know these are strong levels, right? Using a 4-hour time frame. So then I'm noticing like every time it's broke above here, it's been green. Every time it's broke under here, what's happened? It's been bearish. So just using the data that the market has showed us to predict what it's going to do again. Because the market's not random. It does the same patterns over and over again. So it's like, if I jump in here, it's at least going to go here. Because they already showed me it could go here. So it's just not doubting it when that happens. It's just jumping in, boom, smack that. Even if this is $300, $400, cool. That's guaranteed money. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting through here. We know, honestly, it's probably not realistically this guaranteed line that we can see it hitting. Because if it breaks out of here based on this, what is it doing? We can see it's already kind of trying to form a higher low. But if it breaks through here, that means the momentum changes. That probably means there was a build up here and it's pushing. So it could break this. It could break this. But at least here, at least this line it could break. Because when it broke out, where did it go? At least to this line. So it's like things like that are important to know. They might not be big plays, but that's guaranteed money. That's what you gotta look into the market at. When I look at the market, all I see is money on the charts because there's so much money to be made, but a lot of people don't mark their charts. A lot of people will trade this. Like for me, I have these charts marked, but I'm not trading any of this zone. Because notice why? It's consolidating. And it's like, you could try to tighten this spread, right? To try to trade this, right? But I realized it's a lot less data. Like, it's making higher lows in this box, so it's not necessarily the trend. But when it breaks out here, we have big pushes. So I'm going to let it play in here because eventually it wants to trend because it's already making higher lows. I got low, higher, lower high, but then it made an equal low. So with it making an equal low, it could make a lower low from this, right? It could make a higher high and then push. But realize this was when there was no volume in the market. So notice how this wick came all the way up here, tested up here, and now it's shooting down. This shows me, okay, it might be pushing now. But also, since if this wick closes above this low, right, we can assume, okay, this is still lower high, so it could start changing the momentum. But looking at the higher time frame, the 4-hour, what is it showing me? Okay, it's showing me that this might form a doji and show it's shooting down. It's been pushing down consistently. So I'm not going to assume now, oh, it's not going to shoot down. It's like, no, it probably is going to shoot down. But it's just waiting to let the market show you. We're not guessing. I'm not just going to be like, oh, I think it's going to shoot down and jump in. No, bro. Let the market show you it's going down because you rather jump in with confirmation than just assume and make an assumption and be wrong. That's what a lot of people do. They assume the market's going to do this. But if you just be patient on the market, you don't trade in between here. When your move happens, you're pretty certain of where the market's going. So that's something I do, is just be patient. Notice it wicked all the way up here, and now it's under here. It shows me it's potentially making a lower high. Notice the line. So when I see that, what can I expect? Okay, this is a lower high. What can I expect next? A lower low. And notice it hasn't been over here in a minute. So it's like once it breaks there's buyers here. Once it breaks these buyers here, it's nothing to stop it from shooting from here. Like it already broke right here once it broke, right? So it can test right here, first line. But if it breaks past here, it could go to here and so on. But then once again, like I said, it could push up. So we just let the market show it us where it wants to go. Not doing too much guesswork, literally just being patient. Letting the market show. Is that something I realize is like the market always is going to show you where it wants to go. You just got to be patient. Like, that's quite literally all it is. Patience. Okay, why did my alert not work on this? Okay, I'm going to just delete this. Low? Is it there? It just lagged crazy. I have to keep lagging. Okay. But notice, what is the structure showing? Just like I said, read it. So you pushed up to this high. Right, we haven't broke this high in a minute. We tested above it, but we didn't break above it. And we made a higher low here. Notice, now what do we see? We see a low, a high. Here, let's see. A low, a high. A low, high, lower high. So now, give you a gang, okay? If it's going to continue on the uptrend, it needs to make a higher low, right? Up here. But if it doesn't, what can we expect it to shoot down? So that's why I'm going to put my thing right there, because so far it's yet to break. So what we needed to do to break structure is break above here. Because this was our low, this was our high. Let's see, break here. If it doesn't break here on this, like building up to this high, we know it's still overall trending down. And I dare say watch this 4 hour, because I believe this is forming a doji. So what I realize is the 1 hour might be showing it like fighting, so the 4 hour could show lower lows, because look, the 4 hour came here and then it pushed down to this lower value. Now we could see some push up, right? But right now it's overall losing. Realize the market, when it trends down for a while. Notice this was all red, all green. Where does it try to fill this? So I realized, like, even though it pushes up, it's probably going, if it stays like under this line, I believe it's going to shoot. Now, but you gotta realize there's times where you gotta watch. Like the most important is like, okay, one, waiting for it to hit one of your alerts, but two, if it breaks, like, you gotta realize, let the market show you, because ultimately the market is not just going to be like, oh, I was building up and I just reversed. Like, it's not going to get wonky, right? to respect structure. Like, look, daily, what has it been doing? Like when you zoom out on the daily, what has the market been doing? Let's just look right here. Boom, boom, higher low, boom. So now to keep the structure, what does it need to do? It needs to come lower. So just knowing that, it's like, oh, to keep that pattern, it made a higher low, right? It made a lower low, made a lower high up here somewhere, right? Now we can expect a lower low on a daily. So then when I drop to the 4 hour and I see the same pattern playing, I'm like, okay, it's reasonable to assume, okay, that since we had a lower high, now we made a lower low, right? I mean, we had a high, we made a low. Now we can look for a lower high so we can get in here when it breaks above, ride that for a little bit if it breaks above here. But it could also make like a lower high right here. But if it breaks above, we can take that to that lower high value. And then we can expect it to pull back down and make a lower low. But on the 4 hour, I mean on the 1 hour, we see what has it been doing all day. Lower high, lower high, lower high. So we can expect this to be a lower high. So as long as it's not breaking this line, we can expect that it's not breaking structure. And continue down. So that's important things to know. And that's why I marked like that, because that was our last lower high. If it breaks above here, we can see a structure change. So that's important to know too. Like if it just randomly breaks above that, we could be like, okay, we might be seeing a structure change. But those are things to know. But let's get into word. So we're on 1 Samuel chapter 5. It says, and the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it to Ebenezer unto Ashdod. And when the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon and set him up in his place again. And when they arose on the morning, behold, Dagon had fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord, and the head of Dagon and both palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left him. Therefore neither the priest of Dagon nor any that came into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Ashdod this day. So what this shows me is that every head, every knee will bow to the Lord. Like, realize even this false god, just in the presence of the ark, which, what was the ark significant? The ark of the Lord was significant for his presence, because that's where he would fill this box with his presence, you know, so the people could feel like God was with them, right? Because sometimes they needed to feel in God and realize, like, I'm not confined to a box, but this is a way of you remembering that I'm with you, you know. That was kind of his sign of it. And even this like idol has to fall down at the face of this ark because it has to worship the Lord. And then it says, but the hand of the Lord was heavy upon them of Ashdod. He destroyed them and smote them with emerods, and even Ashdod and the coast thereof. When the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, the ark of God shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore upon us, upon Dagon our God. They sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines unto them, and said, what shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And they answered, let the ark of God of Israel be carried unto Gath. And they carried the ark of God of Israel about thither. So they're like, hey, we don't even want this. We don't want this near us. We don't want this around us, because all it's doing is bringing us bad juju. You know what I'm saying? Essentially. So now they give it to Gath. And see what happens with Gath. And it says, and it was so that after they had carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction. And he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had emerods in their secret parts. So now we see the second occurrence of this, the ark of the covenant of God going into these cities that's not of the people of Israel. And what's happening? These cities are losing people. They're getting decimated. Because when God is against you, nobody can stop what he has for you. Their God couldn't stop him. These cities can't stop him. So we see a common pattern is that if God's hand is against you, you can't win. Like that is an important thing. And then it says, therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron, and it came to pass that as the ark of God came to Ekron, the Ekronites cried out, saying, they have brought about the ark of God to Israel to slay us and our people. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said, send away the ark of God of Israel, and let it again go again to their own place, that it slay us not, our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city, and the hand of God was very heavy there. And the men that died were smitten with the emerods, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. So realize that when God, the ark of the God, right, was in these cities, it was destroying these cities because that's not where it was supposed to reign. The same way I realize if we're in a place, if we know our bodies are temples of the Lord and we're doing things and in spaces we shouldn't be at, what is that doing? It's destroying our soul. It's not destroying our body necessarily. It's destroying our soul because it's as if you walk in the flesh, you will not fulfill the lust of the spirit, right? I mean, if you walk in the spirit, you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Meaning that if I'm walking and seeking after God, I will not fulfill the lust of my flesh. But it's the same for the opposite side. If I'm walking in my flesh, I will not fulfill the desires of my spirit. I will not do what the Holy Spirit's calling me. I will keep doing these flesh-led things because that's what's guiding me through my life. And I realize that. We see that with them, is that they thought it would be good to steal the power, what they thought was a power from Israel. And what happened? It brought them curse because they trusted their thoughts over what they saw. Oh, this is obviously God's, like, their power, like where they were like they idolized this, like the Israelite people idolized this because they viewed it as powerful because of the power of the Lord, right? But now these nations thought it would derail them by taking it, right? And it made them sad, but ultimately it did them more harm taking something. So what you got to realize is, this is why comparison is a thief of all joy. They thought that this power that the Israelite people had was all in this like covenant, right? In this, the Ark of the Covenant, right? They took that, right? And what happened? It brought them more negativity. So I realized that sometimes we want the things other people have, but when we take it or get the similar things, circumstances, right? Now let's say, oh, this person makes more money. You start making the same amount of money as that person now. You're still not happy because what are you thinking now? Dang, how much more is that person making? How much this? And I realized that comparison is a thief of joy. He said, you can edge. Alright. But what's it called? So now when you're comparing yourself to these other people, what happens? You lose sight of your own walk. You start desiring things they have and you're not grateful for what you have. And I feel like that's like the people, because just because you took their ark, you didn't, if you already seen it bad, why did you keep putting it off? But because they wanted to pass on these things. So it just shows me sometimes we'll chase after things that don't benefit us at all. And then it said, and the ark of the Lord was in the countries of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priest and the diviner, saying, what shall we do of the ark of the Lord? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place. And they said, if ye send the ark of God of Israel, send it not empty, but in any wise return him a trespass offering. Then ye shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from me. Realize that their way of returning the ark and being right and standing with God was offering these trespass offerings. Now we're going to see what the trespass offerings were. But notice, they felt like they couldn't return it alone because they were like, hey, we can't leave empty handed. So let's see what they offer. It says, then they said, what shall be the trespass offering which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden emeralds, 5 golden mice, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines. For one plague was on all you all, and on your lords. Wherefore ye shall make images of your emeralds, the images of your mice that have more of the land, and ye shall give glory unto the God of Israel. Peradventure he will lighten his hand from off you, and from off your gods, and from off your land. Wherefore then ye harden your hearts as the Pharaohs, as the Egyptians and the Pharaohs hardened their hearts when he had wrought wonderfully among them. Then did they not let his people go, and they departed? So now you see that they're trying to gain favor with the Lord. They're like, okay, what do we need to do? So basically, like, he doesn't trip on us, because it's like already they're feeling fear and realize, like, this is reverence for the Lord. Like, even though they're offering these sacrifices, they don't really know what to offer. They understand that they need to offer something because they start understanding that God is so much higher than them, that they need mercy, because if he's against them, they're going to lose. They see it. So it says, now therefore make a new cart and take 2 Mitch kine on which they have come no yoke, and tie the kine to the carts, and bring their calves home from them, and take the ark of the Lord, and lay it upon a cart, put the jewels of gold, which ye returned him for a trespass offering, and a coffer by the side thereof, and send it away that I may go, and see if it go up by the way of his own coast to Bethsheba, then he have done us this great evil. But if not, then we shall know it is not his hand that smote us, it was chance that happened to us. So now they're asking, is this give us a sign? They're like, realize these people that don't believe in God, now they have some belief in him. Mind you, they don't follow him, but they believe, okay, God, this God of Israel has to be somewhat real, because if he's bringing these plagues, we will know it's him. So now they want to say, if it goes by the coast of Bethsheba, they know it was him that did this evil. And the men did so, and took two mulch kine, and tied them to the cart, and shut up their calves at home. And then they laid the ark of the Lord upon the cart, and the coffer with the mice and gold, and images of their emerald. And the kine took straight away to the way of Bethsheba, and went along the highway, loving as they went, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left. And the lords of the Philistines went after them onto the border of Bethsheba, and they of Bethsheba were reaping their harvest in the valley, and they lifted up their eyes and saw the ark of the covenant, saw the ark, and rejoiced in it. So what happened? It went to Bethsheba to show them that God was the one putting like this stress on them, as far as he's like, hey, this is my people, like, you're not gonna keep messing with them. And I realized, like, that's what we should realize. Even though these people didn't truly have a relationship with God, didn't really believe in him, they understood that if this was from God, he would let them know, and he let them know. And then it says, and the cart came to the field of Joshua, a Bethshemite, and stood there where there was a great stone, and they clave the wood of the cart, and offered the kine a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the Levites took down the ark of the Lord, and the coffer that was with it, wherein the jewels of gold were, and put them in a great stone. And the men put them on the great stone. And the men of Bathsheba offered burnt offerings and sacrifices the same day unto the Lord. And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. And ye are the gold ephroms which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering unto the Lord. For Ashdod 1, for Gazer 1, for Akanah 1, for Gath 1, for Ekron 1. So all the Philistines kings had offered a sacrifice to God, because they realized, God, you're too powerful. We can't keep competing with you. So now we see the fear of the Lord, the reverence for the Lord, in even the Philistines. And then it says, and the golden mice, according to the number of all the cities that the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both of fenced cities and country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, whereon they set down the ark of the Lord, which stone remaineth unto this day in the field of Joshua the Bethshemite. So now we see that the people around the Israelite people even fear the Lord, because they are scared of him. But they don't fear the Lord in reverence. They fear the Lord out of straight fear, because now they seen him come. And what happened? They had destruction in their land, so they're like, hey, we don't want no problems, big fella. And it says, and he smote the men of Bethsheba, because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. Even he smote people 50,000 and 60 men, and the people lamented, because the Lord had smitten many of the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Bethsheba said, who is able to stand before this holy Lord and God? And to whom shall he go up from us? And they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kiriath-Jearim, saying, the Philistines have brought again the ark of the Lord. Come ye down and fetch it unto you. To realize that people died because they mishandled the ark of the Lord. And I realized that this is why we have to trust God over how we feel, because they felt like it would be okay to move the ark in a certain way, even though God had specifically, because if you remember back in Leviticus, God laid laws for them to follow on how to handle the ark of the covenant. That was only the Levites that were allowed to touch the covenant, ark of the covenant. And you see 50,000 plus people died because now they're touching this covenant, the ark of the covenant would symbolize like their relationship with the Lord, but they're doing it in a way that doesn't glorify God, because God told them only Levites are allowed to touch. So by them doing that, it shows their lack of faith to trust what God said. That's why I believe he struck them down, so they learned the lesson and realize to die as a Christian isn't like a bad thing, because to die as a Christian is to be present with the Lord. So when I read of them dying, I'm not thinking of, oh, like God's so cruel. It's like, bro, you got to realize death is not the same as our society views death. I think death is viewed in our society in a very negative connotation, because a lot of people are afraid of not knowing where they're going, because they haven't had a relationship with the Lord. They haven't walked with him. They don't believe in God, and it's like, if you don't believe in God, it's very scary, because you don't know where you're going, or you like are confused, or you don't want to know where you're going. Like, I feel like deep down, no person wants to think they are bad, and that's why I like reading the Bible, because it reminds us of things that aren't comfortable for us, but are important for us to understand. The Bible doesn't say we're all good. It says we're all flawed. And that's why the world is what it is. That's why we see all the wickedness. The Epstein files should show you the wickedness. And what's crazy is the things that were released in the Epstein files are parallel to what we see in the Old Testament. These were common practices. Demonic rituals where they were offering up children. Bro, the Bible literally talks about all these things. It talks about these practices. So it's not in Ecclesiastes, it says there's nothing new under the sun. So it shows me that the things that were happening then are the same things that are happening now. But I think it was even worse back then. There's a reason God had the flood, because he's seen how many abominations. If we think the world's wicked now and God hasn't flooded the world now, how much worse do you think the world was back then? Because he didn't give Abraham a chance of being like, Noah being like, hey, I'm gonna give them another chance. He was like, no, like it's happening. Like, get ready, And I think about Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham said if there was even 10 righteous people, that God would save the city, and he said he would. That means they couldn't find 10 righteous people. Realize that righteousness isn't something that you do by action. It's by your heart posture. That means none of them had a reverence for God. None of them had faith in God. They wanted to lean on their own understanding. And I realized in our society, that's what's normalized. To trust ourselves, to trust what we see, to trust walk by sight. It tells us that like time and time again. So what you got to realize is that things society normalizes aren't of God. So I'm not going to lean to society to think I know what I should be doing. I'm going to trust God ultimately, because I know my God does not fail. And I realize, like, bro, it's important to note that. It's important to note that God ultimately knows what he's doing. And we got to realize, like, his track history is perfect. So it says, and the men of Kiriath came and fetched the ark of the Lord and brought it into the house of Abinadab in the hill, and sanctified Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Lord. So now we see that the Levite actually gets sanctified before he can touch the ark of the Lord. And then it says, and it came to pass while the ark abode in Kiriath that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Lord. And Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, if ye do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods, Asheroth, from among you. Prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only. He will deliver you out of the hands of the Philistines. Realize that God wants to help you out of your situation, but it takes you coming to the end of yourself and saying, Lord, I need you. I know I feel far from you, Lord. I feel like you're not with me, but I'm going to choose to lean on you. Realize that is humbling yourself before God. And a lot of us do not humble ourselves before God. But that's the point he needs us to come to. Because when you come to this point, you realize how much you need God. And until we come to that point of realizing how much we need God, we're going to go through the struggles. Even when you're with the Lord, sometimes he has you go through struggles to make you lean on him more. But what you got to realize is once you learn to lean on the Lord, not to change that up. Okay, my situation is good. I'm going to thank the Lord. Okay, my situation bad. I'm going to go to the Lord so I can see the good in this situation, even though it doesn't feel good. Realize that's where your heart changes when you start walking with the Lord. But a lot of people don't teach that. What do they teach? Oh, when you're feeling like when you walk with the Lord, you're going to feel good all the time. You're going to always want to see him. You're going to always have peace. No, when you're walking with the Lord, you have joy in the Lord because you know he's for you and you know you have a relationship with him. But realize sometimes God's going to tell you, hey, you need to put this down. You need to give this up. You need to do that. And that's hard. But what you got to realize is God gives you grace when he knows you need grace. If you're following, keep seeking after him, because the more you seek after him, the more he will change your heart to align with his word. But you got to keep seeking after him. You got to keep praying to him. You got to go through the ups and downs. Yeah, you might not like what you're doing at your work that one day, but realize God provided you with work. There was a time you were praying for a job. There was a time when you were praying for your bills to be paid. Now your bills are getting paid. So be grateful. It's like for me, I realized with trading, I was praying to have green days, and I went in my notebook and I can see like in January, that was my goal, just praying to have green days, because I was having so many red days. Like I burned my account, and it was just like, God, I just want to have green days. And then I started having green days and all these good trades. But what was I doing? I was letting it go red because I was so greedy. Like I need more. And God had to convict me, because he said, if you're not faithful with little, you won't be faithful with much. Like, and that's biblical, as far as if I'm not faithful with little, meaning if I can't be grateful for making 600 to 900 when I'm going to work my 9 to 5, that's how much I'm getting a check. It really made me realize when you're in this trading world, because of what society pushes, or you got to be a millionaire in one trade, boom, 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 all this stuff, you start getting the habit of it's not enough. Even during the challenges for these evals, you be like, dang, I got to make more. But what you got to realize is you got to take what the market gives you. Okay, like right now, what does it show me? It shows me it's building into that downtrend. So when it breaks, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to make my money. But what you also got to realize is, okay, as it's pushing, what do I know is going to happen? It's going to push to the limit. It's going to show like how far it can go, but then it's going to push back up liquidity sweep. So what am I going to do? I'm going to ride it down. Wherever that max price is, I'm going to take that. Okay, it's going to stop loss me out once it starts the liquidity sweep. Okay, boom. Now the liquidity sweep start. But realize that's why I'm going to drop down to the 15. I'm going to be able to see, okay, it's coming back down to my line. Jump in again and keep doing that, because what you're doing is you're scalping a long-term trend. But regardless, you're trading with the trend, not against the trend. A lot of people will be like, oh, it's going green right now, I'm going to trade green. But ultimately, just because it's green right now, like since this is a higher time frame, that's more accurate. But if you see 15, you'd be like, oh, it's green right now, I'm going to take a trade. It doesn't respect the structure on a lower time frame. It respects these higher time frame structures. So that's why I always draw it out. That's why I mark my charts on the higher time frame, because a lower has to respect these. It's kind of like, this is how you should look at it, right? Look at it. If you visualize the market like this, you'll understand it a lot better. View the market the same way you view like going to God. As far as like, for me, what I view the market as is God will give you directions, right? But you gotta be in your word. You gotta read. You gotta listen to what he's telling you, right? The same way with price, right? The market will show you where it wants to go. It's just, are you being patient? And I realize this is why I feel like trading with Jesus is so important to reading the market, because just like with the Lord, you have to be patient to wait for what he's telling you to do and listen. You have to wait for the market to show you what it wants to do. I mark my levels. Right now is a no trade zone. But a lot of people look at the charts like, oh, I got to take a trade. I got to take a trade. But for me, it's in a no trade zone. So I'm not forcing a trade. And that's why I'm into my word, because when I realize I focus my focus on the Lord, it's to seek the kingdom first. Everything else will be added onto you. I don't feel like I need to get in the church. I don't feel like I have to chase the money. I feel at peace because I know ultimately the market is going to show me where it wants to break out. But what I put my focus on is what's going to be my reality. So since I focus on the word of God, I know he's going to fill me with more understanding of his word the more I read it. And now we're seeing that this is like the perspective. Samuel's like, hey, leave all the idols, leave all the doubt, leave all the fear, come back to the Lord. And I think it's so important to realize like that's what God's heart posture is. He doesn't expect you to come perfect. He doesn't expect you to come without your burden. He says, bring it all to me and I will give you rest. Like, don't wait till you're perfect to come to Jesus. Come to Jesus to be perfected. Like, that's what you need to realize. And it says, then the children of Israel did put away Baalim and Ashtaroth and served the Lord only. So now they put down two gods. So you realize they were worshiping two gods plus the Lord. You can't worship idols and God. Either it's all God or it's going to be these idols running your life. And you're going to have some God. Oh, I'm going to trust God when it's convenient. Bro, God's not a genie that you go to when times are convenient. God is someone who you go to because you trust him. You have faith in him and you know that he comes through. And I realized he done convicted me of times where I looked at God as a genie. Oh, Lord, help me with this. For example, when I burned my first funded, bro, I'm like, God, obviously, I'm like, Lord, let the trade, like, please, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I was up 300, did take my profits. It started shooting down. And all I could think in my head is, Lord, please let it not lose. But he was telling me, like, I could hear it in my brain, like audibly, the Lord saying, nah, this is your doing. I gave you profits, you didn't take it. And bro, when I seen that junk go down, I'm just like, Lord, come on, I trust you. And it blew. But I realized when I was saying, Lord, I trust you, it's like, Lord, it's in your hands. So me blowing that account, it was like, okay, boom. That was on me. I learned, do not be greedy. Do not be prideful. When you see profit, take profit. Don't let, if you the trade reverse and you're down 200, that means it's reversing. Like, realize the market will pull back a little bit before it makes its move, but you should not be going under 200 on a winning trade. You just shouldn't. Like, it's that simple. And I think a lot of people get in the mindset of overcomplicating trading. Oh, when I get in, it starts pulling back. It's a liquidity sweep. No. 90% of the time, if you just jump in and it's already going the opposite way, it's a losing trade. Get out. Cut your losses. A lot of people don't cut their losses. I've been there. Cut your losses early. Especially if you're on a funded, bro. Cut it at 200, bro. Because you can't lose 2,000, so you might as well lose 200, and then you win the trade, now you up. Stack green days. Every day. And then it says, and they gathered together to Mizpah and drew water and poured it out before the Lord and fasted on that day and said there, we have sinned against the Lord. And Samuel judged the children of Israel and Mizpah. Notice how when it says Samuel judged the people, it's like he's showing them how God will react to their actions. He's showing them that, hey, this is what we need to change. And I realized, like, we all need that. We all need someone to hold us accountable. That's why it's so important to have godly counsel around you. And realize, what are we seeing now? The market kicked in. Now we're seeing this get shot down. Yeah. Yeah, bro, I'm not gonna lie. When you start seeing wicks like this, where it's coming up and then it's pulling down, that's a sign that it's going bearish. Because notice, this is where sellers are pushing the price down. So this shows me, okay, buyers are trying to force it up, but the sellers are letting us know, yeah, they're not breaking here. So where are the buyers only in hope to go down, right? And you gotta realize there's buyers here, but realize it was weak here because the seller pushed all the way through here. So if the sellers can push the price, this shows me there's a bunch of sellers who are pushing this price down. And notice they're whooping them. So it shows me the sellers are in control. So if they can push it all the way down, right, as you see what they're doing, if this breaks here, bro, it's no limit. Like, it is going to that lower low. And realize it hasn't been down there in a minute. Because the sellers that were up here came down here. Sellers that were up here came down here. So now they're just stacking up their forces so they can make that push. So you just got to see what the market is showing you. It's like the buyers are really fighting, but ultimately they're just pushing it up and then again shot back down. It shows me that the buyers are still not in control. It's like, yeah, they're holding right now, but overall they're just fighting the price up. This shows me when this candle closes on this 4 hour, it's probably going to be red just because of how hard the buyers are fighting right here. It's like, imagine if you're playing full court, right, and you're pushing your hardest, right, and you get tired. Like right now, look, all right, let's see if it's going to make a push. Boom. Now we see it pushing up. So now it broke past this line. Can it hold above this? Because you remember I said if it breaks by this line, it means the trend is switching. So let's see. But look, overall on the 4 hour, what does this show me? This could be making that higher low and still bouncing from there. So I'm not really worried about it switching the trend overall. But if it holds above, it could build up from there. So we're going to note that. It's still higher low. Realistically, on the 4 hour, it needs to break this line. So either way, we can make money in both directions. We're just waiting for the market to show us. Okay, what is it showing on 1 hour? Okay, it made a higher equal low. Yo, how you doing, Brian? But yeah, this is what we're seeing. This is the previous high. So if it breaks above here, we can switch to uptrend. But notice if it holds under, which you see it wicks all the way up here. This is good. When you see like very high wicks, it showed you, hey, I tried to test all the way up here. I couldn't hold. I couldn't hold it. And that's a good sign. If you're looking, you're like, oh, boom. Because what can we see this forming now? What is it doing? It's finally showing on this some green. So this shows me, okay, what can we do? I just look at the chart. So we pushed down, we made a lower high, right? And now we're shooting back down. So what we want to see is the 4 hour actually make that lower high. So it's further confirmation that it's going to continue on that downtrend. Versus if this forms red, it could keep going down. But now we don't really know, okay, how long is it going to go down? Is it going to go here and then push? Or is it making a higher low so it can really shoot down here? Because if it forms this higher low, the next thing is the lower low. So we can assume that the next couple candles are going to be pushing down. And then we go to the 1 hour, we can assume pushing down. So you're just watching what it does. So we're going to let that close. We're not going to take a trade. Last time we got our alert set. So if it breaks above here, we know it's still making a higher low. We're going to get in here and ride it. How you doing, Vesu? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all tuning into the stream. You know, if you like this type of content, like, comment, subscribe for more. You know, and yeah, I hope y'all doing good. Well, let's get back into the word. So we are on verse 11 of chapter 7 in 1 Samuel. It says, and the men of Israel went out to Mizpah and pursued the Philistines and smote them until they came to Beth-kar. Then Samuel took a stone and set it between Mizpah and Shan and called the name of Ebenezer, saying, hither to have the Lord helped us. So the Philistines were subdued, and they came no more into the coast of Israel. And the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines. Okay, so now we got an indication. So we might be able to get a buy here. This is what happened. It broke our TP level. So when we jump in, looking to take a buy here. See, already broke past. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm into it. See, this is the indication it could break out, right? I'm trying to see if I can get a better entry. I wasn't ready to jump in. And this sharp moving too. It's pushing for real. Yeah, it's pushing. Okay, this shows me this might be the indication. So, So because it did this push, we can jump in here. Here, let me see. Notice though, it's dropping. So what that shows me is this could be the indication. Alright. So we're gonna try to get a lower entry. So it doesn't have to move that much. Let me see. Okay. So what is it doing? It's pushing. Okay. So dang, okay. This is really pushing. Did not expect that, not gonna lie. Trying to get in, bro. I'm moving too much. It literally just put me in late. It's cool. I don't even know if we went in profit. We did, but we lost 55. I don't like trading this because it's moving too fast that we can't really get in. I wanted to get in down here. The only thing is when you miss your entry, like here, you can't chase. And it was like, that's why I felt like I ended up going right here. So it's like we missed our entry. I wanted to get down here and I couldn't catch it. Like it just kept going. So what I realized is like now it's kind of chasing it, trying to get to it. But I'm okay with losing 58 because realistically it's going to pull back down somewhere. But just like not trying to chase it. Like, okay, that was me trying to get in and secure it. It was moving too fast. So now I realize, okay, boom. I'm going to let it, the market does what it does. What is it still doing? It's still making that lower high. So it's just not trying to chase it. It broke our level. Okay, boom. You see, I try to get in. I was trying to get in here, but it just moved too fast. Like, it literally just moved too fast. This is where when it starts getting near your line, you gotta be ready to jump in because this was easily like 1.5, just move. But it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's our entry. It is what it is. Now we have an indication it could break out. So if it ends up pulling down, we can be like, okay, boom. But we're okay with losing that there because we were in it. Like it was still the trend we wanted to. We just didn't get the entry. We tried to get in here and we missed it, you know. That's all it is. So now though, we're gonna get ready to take a buy though in case it does pull back down here. This is where we want to be at. We want to ride it from here. So if it pulls back down here, this is where we're getting in at next time. So just knowing this is what you're looking to get to. But yeah, bro, it's definitely moving a little too fast for us to get in right now. It sucks because I ain't gonna lie, like when it's like that, you know it's literally pushing, but ultimately we know that to make a lower high, it could still push here. But this is where you gotta realize this is dangerous to trade here because it's gonna keep pushing up and down, and you don't really know where it's going. Because ultimately it's wicking above here, but it's no signs of it pulling back. Even on the 15, it's just a momentum. It's just momentum. So now we can see it's just pushing. Like I'm not gonna lie, I wish, bro, I got my entry, bro, free. And I wish I got my entry. Just trying to see if I can get a better entry, like, bro. At this point, this is where it's trying to test. So it's like we can get this down here. We can get in on this line. They pull back under this line and then ride it. Ideal. So now when we see it pull back, we know, okay, it's already broke this line before. So when I see it break under, I'm jumping in. Because now it's pretty safe to jump it. Bro, I keep missing this junk, bro. It's moving too fast. That's the most annoying part is when you're like trying to get your entry perfect and it keeps like pushing under, but then it pushes above really fast. It's hard to time it up. Oh, hold on. Boom. So notice the 4 hour is showing, the 1 hour showing. Now we're like, okay, boom. So now I'm going to the 5. I'm like, okay, boom. So this is showing me, okay, it's still trying to test. But notice this is where it's trying to test. So you got to realize, like, this is where it's consolidating. As far as it pushes up here, it comes down. So what you got to realize is right now, this is kind of a dangerous area to kind of jump in, I'm going to be honest. Because notice how I was just playing between these. That means some buyers are pushing it here. So I'm just like, it's like, definitely want to trade it because you see it keep pushing up, right? But it's also at a dangerous zone where it's like hard to get a good entry. Versus if we were over here, we'd just be trailing our TP, you know? So it's like we still marked our levels good, but we got to realize, okay, this is the breakout. Now you see it pulling back down. That's good because towards the end of this, now we have our indication. I traded the indication. That's why I lost. This was the indication is breaking out. So now what we can expect is in this 3 minutes, okay, boom. We can probably expect some pullback, you know, and build off that. So notice this is still above our level. Now, since we see it here, it could pull back, but it could also break above. So we're just going to get ready to take what the market gives us. Because notice it's still above our buy zone. We were looking for it to play. So this is still our stop loss. We're looking for it to break. And we want to take like this. We just want to snipe the best entry we can. Notice how it's pulling back down. We expect it to pull all the way back in here. Because what was it doing? This is the indication. So that shows me next time it breaks out, where can we go? All the way up here. But notice it's probably not going to push all the way back up here now. Yeah, see, it's dropping. So this is a perfect example of why it's dangerous to trade the indication. But it's tempting. It's very tempting to trade the indication. Because what happens? You see it went to a new height. And it's like, yeah, I need to get in there. But realize the market's also pulling back down because what happens? Anytime the market goes up, it'll show you like, okay, this is where if I break this line, I can go here. So now we know next time it does it, we can get in. But it's just waiting for these to close. How you doing, man? I'm doing good, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I traded the indication. I lost like 50, but which is good, honestly, because it was like a point where it was down 200, it shot up. But now I know, okay, when it breaks this line, I can get into buys here, right? I can take a buy from here. I have my stop loss down here, right? And I can take a buy all the way up to here and know it's probably going to hit because what happened, it showed me it could do that. But they're not trading it here. So because it went all the way up here, it pushed it all the way up here. Now we can see it start forming. So it's important to know like where the market goes. And I'm thankful because even though I took a trade here, I got out before I went. Like I got in here and it pushed down here and I got out because I seen, okay, it's just going straight up like this. I tried to get in when I hit the X, it was actually at profit. But because of how fast the market was moving, I ended up going negative. But at least it was 50. That's what I'm saying. Proper risk management. I'd rather take 50 than imagine if I held it and it shot all the way down here. Now that's like $2,000 loss. Account gone. You feel me? So it's like at a certain point you gotta cut your losses, bro. And that's why we're waiting for the 4-hour BS. This would have baited a lot of people, you know. But realize if you had jumped in here, that's still a $1,500 play, and that's what I was trying to do. But I realized that's why trading the indication is dangerous. Is if you get in and you click it in time, like you're good. But if you don't, you're kind of cooked. And that's what I like. For me, I like it, even doing this where I'm sitting and kind of waiting. So right now I'm like, okay, if it builds up here, this is what I'm looking up for it now. I'm looking for it to be here. I'm gonna put my limit here, and that's what I'm kind of looking for. Actually, hold on. I don't want to make too much. Just let's see. Let me do this 15. 15. Okay. So we're gonna take this down to. I need to actually add that. So I'll take it to like right here. But notice it went all the way up here, and now where the market is. This shows me, okay, it was just seeing how far it could go, right? And the buyers looked like they were in control. Now that it's fought all the way down here, it's like one, either what we can see is it builds up, it shoots, right? Because now there's a lot of volume in the market. Look how high. 92 volume. This was like 26. This was all low volume. So now we see a higher volume. But realize, what does this just make? A higher low so we can push down. Now, so it's going to be like, now looking to the downside, you know? But if it breaks above this line again, we already seen it where it goes. So it's like now we're taking this buy if it breaks above it. So it's just waiting for it. If it breaks above, we're taking a buy to that next level. So it's like that's where we got to be confident in our trades. Like, okay, boom, I'm taking it to this, you know. So we're just going to wait for this last 13 minutes. Because I honestly, you remember how I said I think it's going to turn red? I think it's still going to turn red because now it tested all the way up there and it tested all the way up here. You watched Houston versus Iowa State yesterday? I didn't. I be watching the highlights because I don't have like the subscription to watch it live. But I'm going to watch the highlights. If I had to guess without like watching it, you know, I would assume that, what's it called? I would assume that Houston won. If I had to guess, you know, because Houston's dumb nice. Like their defense, spectacular. Not gonna lie, they be on that. I don't even want it to accidentally put me in a buy. But notice this wick came from here to here. That shows me on this 1 hour what's happening. It's making a boom. So it was all the way up here where it made you think it was switching structure, right? But notice it broke above here, but now it's wicked all the way up here. A wick this long shows me it's Iowa State by 3. Ooh. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. They won? Okay. And that's why I love college basketball. Like, I love the game because, bro, anybody can win any given day. It's like, obviously, Iowa State wasn't the favorite. You know what I'm saying? They weren't the favorite, but they came pulling it out. Hey, major respect, bro. Major respect. Oh, this is another thing I want to say, too, bro. Even on the 4 hour showed it, I'm so thankful I got out here Imagine if I was holding it here. This is where I'd be like, realizing you gotta cut your losses. When I was seeing it, as soon as it started doing this, I was like, oh, I gotta get out. I didn't try and trail my stop loss because when it's moving that fast and it's negative 200, up 100, boom, boom, boom. When it's moving that fast, get out. Because what does that mean? That's showing you, the market's showing you, it's an indication. Because what happened? If you had stayed in, it shot down. So when I got out here, literally 5 minutes later, it shot all the way to down here. So it's like, that's why you got to be proper risk management. Oh, dang, this is a losing trade. Get out. Get out. And live to fight another day. Because if I stayed, bro, my account be gone, bro. I'm telling you, like, it's so tempting to be like, oh, I can make maybe 100. Nah, bro. You rather not risk 100 to lose your account versus if you just wait for the setup. Since it wicked all the way up here, I'm pretty sure it's going to form down here. And it's like, even now, what is it trying to do? Like, it's showing you, like, okay, I tried to build momentum. Realize what happens with these trends. What happened? Like, just notice the pattern. What happened here? It made this little candle, right? So it's like, it could do that same pattern where it really pushes up and makes another higher low. But at the same time, what it could do is, look, just mark in the structure where Dacier had to do a higher low. This is still technically a higher low as long as it's above here. And then it shoots. What has it been doing all day here? Like, just tracking the blue. It made a higher low, lower low, higher low. Notice, like, higher low. So as long as it's under this line, it still is respecting this trend. So you could come all the way, like, by it. Even an equal low, like equal high, right? It still could shoot from there. And notice how that wick is all the way up here, but now it's playing down here. That shows me it's probably not going to the upside anymore. But there was a time where I could have got in. You see I marked it right here. And it actually broke there. But realize I missed my entry because it moved too fast. And I'm not, like, doubting myself. Like, the only reason why I took a buy up here is because I was trying to get it. Like, and I'm okay with acknowledging why I took it. I took that trade because I knew it was still going up, in that moment. It just happened to be consolidated. So me, I cut my losses rather than chasing that 100. But now look, we're pushing. So now I'm getting ready for that sell because I know if it breaks this line, we are going down because it already showed us all the momentum to the upside. So now we can just probably test this wick all the way down here and then push. But where we're trying to get in on the sell is down here. We're trying to take profits all the way to, I think it was right here, something. We're going to have our TP like up here. Our stop loss all the way like up here. Because notice, it already tested all the way up here. It's not trying to pull back there. So it's just getting further confirmation. But that's what we're looking like. On a 4 hour, I'm looking to take it here. And notice, it's building momentum. Remember I said it was going to turn red? I wasn't guessing. I'm seeing. What is the market showing me? It tested all the way up here. If it didn't hold up here, if it was going to continue up here, it would have played this box. It played all the way down here. So this is a big sign. Okay, I'm trying to break out to this downside. Realize even this wick, it already tested down here. So it's just not hesitating when it shows you. Okay, it gave me an indication it could break down here. So now when I watch this, I'm like, oh, boom. What is it building? Notice the momentum. It's building, boom, higher low. It tested up here, but now what are we seeing? That lower low be formed. And you got to realize what's about to happen. It's about to hit 7. So that's when the market's really about to shoot. Realize a big move happens between 6:30 and 7. We had an indication pull all the way up here. Now we're playing down this market. This shows me when it breaks this level, it's smacking. It's smacking. So don't be greedy. I said, we live to fight another day. We lost here. We're going to make all that back in this play right here. And I'm showing y'all, like, that's why I'm be telling people, like, do not revenge trade. Do not cut your losses early. I cut my losses because I realized, okay, it's not in my favor right now. It is not. So what I do, I cut my losses. But now when I see the setup, I'm not going to hesitate to jump in here because they already showed me it tested above here. So when that next one breaks through here, I'm in there. I'm in there. Simple. I'm in there. Taking whatever profit it gives me. Even if it's 300, I'm a boom. Okay, I'm up. Because that liquidity sweep, I already see when it makes these liquidity sweeps, it's pushing. It's pushing. So it's like you go down negative 200, get out when I tell you that. But realize this is a strong level because I realize once it forms under here, what is it showing me? Bearish. Bearish. So even if it shows green, are we going to take buys? Absolutely not now because it's not. It already showed us it's not trying to go up anymore. So now all signs are pointing for it going on a downtrend. So are we taking sells? No, we're taking buys. We are taking buys. I want to emphasize We are taking, we are taking sells. Sells only. That's what we're looking for. Sells. So when this breaks under, I'm getting in. Okay, notice how I touched it. I'm in there. What the heck? Why am I not in? Sometimes it annoys me. It like annoys the life out of me. Okay, because it literally didn't just put me in, and I was perfectly timed this good. Alright, we're still gonna get. I'll put a stop loss here. Let's take it right here. I'll put this at what we want to make. Realize, where is it pushing up? Because sellers do not want us in here. Look, so you want to still time it up. Too much, boom. Now I'm letting it push. Right now I'm not tripping if it goes negative because I realize what is it doing? It's pushing. See, it just gave me that indication it could break. I'll try that profit. We have 300. 270. Smack. Okay. Now, what do we see? Okay. Is it still showing signs it's going down? Absolutely. So what are we doing? We're back in. 4 hour. Boom. It's pushing. So am I going to hesitate? No. He's already realized. What is it going to do? It's going to show. Look, it shows this and it's put. What up?
Hey, bro. Hey, nigga. Pass that email.
Good shit. I'm about to jump in this train and make my 1500. I don't know. I didn't check. 123. We want to still get a good entry. Boom. You gotta take this to, how much did I just say? Like 1.4. Realize it's pulling back right now because this is about to close. So we want to just, a better entry. Let the market show you a better entry. If it pulls back by this line, we're going to jump in there. I just want the best entry I possibly can get. Okay, it's just moving too fast. I'll take it like right here. Oh my goodness, it's moving. That giant is pushing, bro. Hold on. Let me get it. Make sure I'm in this. Bro, I'm like, jeez. This is where we're holding because we see why it's pulling back. Trade a liquidity sweep. It's pulling, but this is the one we're going to hold because we know it's going to go down right now. If I jumped in dumb late and it was like, okay, boom, is it even pushing down? But what are we looking at? Higher time. Okay, it's lagging. Please not now. Okay. We are looking at this, about to close. So I'm not tripping right now that it's pulling negative. This is the only reason why I didn't jump out because I know overall it's pulling down. So even though we didn't down some money, or we down more than I would like to lose, I realized this is where we got to be patient because this is literally the liquidity sweep. Here is where you can't panic. You got to hold it. So now it's pushing. Now we got to realize, okay, it's a minute left. That's why it's moving so funky. But if we just be patient, this is where it's going to shoot. So we just gotta be patient. Just be patient. This is where it's hard for me not to jump out because I was fearful. But what I realized is the market is showing me all signs it's pushing. So this is where I realized like a lot of people going to jump out and then it's going to make its big move and you're not going to be in a place. So just got to be patient. You see now it's fighting towards the end of that. But it's scary. I understand. But this is where we got to have faith. So I realize now it's pushing. So on this 4 hour closes, we could be like, okay, boom. Where's it going? Now we got 400. Okay, this is where the big move's about to happen. So since we just smacked for 700, we're going to take this down to like 1. Put our stop loss all the way back here. We're going to take our entry at this line. How much I just smacked for? 249. Entry. Now, since that form, we're going to wait for the liquidity sweep. Because we know it's happening. So now we have 249. We're not going to get greedy. We're going to wait for the liquidity sweep. We're going to go back to our old entry. Because what it's going to do is this should push all the way back up close. You know what I mean? So when we see it push, we're going to be like, okay, boom, I'm going to wait. So now we want to calculate all the math for, yes, I know how much I'm trying to make. I'm not tripping. It's doing a liquidity sweep. So that's why we're out right now. So realize I just smacked for like 400, but I was down money. So 250 minus 1500. Boom. So this is how much I want to make my 1,250. So I'm waiting for it to pull back here because I know when the market breaks out, what do we have to see? A correction. So it's going to come back. It might not come all the way back to this level, but even if it's down here, it's a better entry. So you feel me? We want it to come all the way back here, you know, ideally, but you know, realistically, it might not come all the way back down. So even if we got here, we want to see, okay, this is the point where it has to break this to continue on that downtrend, right? So what we got to see is, okay, where do I want to be positioned so I can make my money and be done for the day? Because what you realize is after the liquidity sweep, this is where it pushes. So this is where you just got to be patient. Even though it says 2,000, right? I'm not tripping because I know what is it doing? It's doing a liquidity sweep. You just look at it. What is it doing? It's pushing up. But is it holding there? Not necessarily. So even though right now it's bearish, I mean, it's green. Look at what the market is building. It's building higher lows. So for me, it's just, okay, where's the best entry? Okay, it's pushing all the way back up here. So when I go down to this 15, I'm looking for next time it breaks under here, this is where I'm trying to take. Now that's what we wanted. It pushed back up here. So now we can target lines where it's already been. Okay, boom. Notice, why did my number go away? Hold on. 249. Now, what do we see? It pushed all the way down here. So when it closes, we could be like, okay, if it breaks this line, we're taking it to, I'm trying to be greedy. Okay, here. But realize, we need a form. So what I can see is it form maybe here and then push here. Because notice the market here. Which one is my 15? I'm going to just delete these and redraw it real quick for y'all. And kind of for myself too. Excuse me. But to see, we see the market do boom, 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 right? So this low. Now we can expect a higher low. And then we get expect it to continue. So we can expect a higher low. So now I go to the 1 hour. Notice how this pattern matches up. Boom. And I was on the 15, but it matches perfectly with the 1 hour. So now go to the 4 hour. Notice how the 4 hour is showing this. Come in all the way in. It made a high, made a low, boom, boom, came down, so we expect some pullback, boom, and then go. So everything's still showing us, what is this, the higher low. So when I'm looking at this, I'm not like, oh, dang, I'm panicking. It's like, no, I'm just waiting for it to show me, okay, close. Like, we want these two, because realistically, it'll probably close like above there, right? But once we break under this level again, I know, okay, where is it? It's bearish. So that's what we gotta wait for. So obviously, please, if you're watching the stream, do not trade a bull and be like, oh, I'm gonna make money right now. Like, don't fall in the trap. Like, it's definitely a trap to take a buy here. So we're just waiting for it to play our level. I wanted to close above, build a little more momentum, because what you want to see is it's gonna wick and then it's gonna start shooting down. But realize before it wicks, like, it needs to form one and then build, because what you want to see is on the 1 hour is this wick and then it pulls down. Notice how all of these have crazy wicks and then it pulls down, because that's how the market works. So it'll come, pull back down. But then we know this is safe stop loss level, because look, it's not even testing down there anymore. So we're moving our stop loss in a place where now we know it's not going to get smacked. So that's how we can keep timing our entries up. So now when I go to the 15, I'm like, okay, boom, it's playing above it, right? But if it goes green, I mean, it goes red and it's under that, where do I know to take it? Boom, you know? And let me just make a note to myself of where to take it, so I don't have to take profits to 55. And realize we took a L trade earlier, right? But we got that money back already. Already we're up profit. So we don't need to chase the money. We need to let the market show us where it's trying to give us money. So be patient. Like, patience is very key in this. Because notice, it already is, this is the correction. This isn't the, like, oh, it's switching to a bullish push. It's making that push before it shoots back down. So I'm excited, honestly, because I know that, okay, if it breaks this, what did it do? It made a lower low. So now we got to see a lower high. Notice this was the lowest it's been in a minute. So now we can expect a lower high and build off that. But I'm not going to jump in just because it breaks here. If it breaks here and it's going red, like, what I want to see is it close above here and then start forming red, because I know that red is going to build it all the way back down here. And if we enter here, notice that's all profit. You feel me? That's why it's so important. I want to see keep building. Please keep building up. Like, I hope this junk builds all the way back up here and then it returns red, because as soon as it's here, I'm riding it down to this 265. I'm out. I'm done for the day. You feel me? And notice it's pushed down. What is it doing? The sellers are pushing it. So now I'm like, okay, if it breaks this line, oh, hold on, I did not mean to do that. Hold on. You don't want to move your lines. Notice it broke my line again. But notice it's still red, so I'm like, it can still build up. So I'm not taking this trade yet, because just because it's pulling down, you still got to realize these 4 hours and a 1 hour should be showing you that it's now back to red. It shouldn't just be a one-time movement. You feel me? The 15 builds on a 1 hour and the 1 hour builds on a 4 hour. So if the 15 is showing me that it's still pulling up, why would I jump in a sell? You shouldn't. But notice how this wick is slowly building. So it shows me, okay, boom. It might come up here, build up, right? And what you realize is, notice how for these downtrends, right, just going back in the past, it pulls up and then it comes down. So it's going to play our level again. So it's like, okay, boom. Now it's forming out. Is it going to hold? Because you got to realize, like, it has to build some type of momentum to the other side. But realize, okay, on the 15, we should see some green candles building up before we see it push back down. Because the market never just shoots straight down, right? So it has to make some type of high here. That's what you got to notice. Like, even though the body is going green, we got to see, okay, it's going to turn green, you know? But it's based off this. So we know for this to turn red, we have to see this build up some green to kind of play, and then it's going to go back green. So it's just waiting for it. Realize the market will not. Notice how none of these pushes down do you not see any red. Notice this was some red and then it turned. The fact that this is still green shows me, okay, boom. Notice I've not moved where my entry is, because I'm waiting for it to show me, okay, it needs to close above, build up some, and then shoot again. So just being patient. And that's why I realized, like, bro, it's so important to get grounded, bro. Because if you don't, bro, you're gonna chase after the money. You're gonna chase. And when you chase, bro, you lose. You lose. I'm gonna tell you, bro, from experience, when you chase, you lose. But when you play the charts and let it show you where it wants to go, it's gonna show you. Even now, I'm telling you, this is not a good time to trade because right now it's correcting. Okay, my alerts keep going off. I don't know why it keeps showing me this alert when I'm waiting for the sell. Just because it taps, it doesn't mean we're going for it, right? That's where alerts be kind of annoying, is when it's clear like you're watching the chart. So notice how it's not breaking under here. So what we gotta realize is it's still looking to build momentum. Notice the 4 hours, the 1 hour. So this is why we gotta realize 50 minutes. Notice it's probably gonna go red, right? Like overall, this candle is fighting here for a reason. It's showing you like I'm trying to push down here. But notice like the body's right here. Because what it wants to show you is this: to continue the power pattern on the 1 hour. It made this lower value. It has to make a higher low and then build. It won't just boom. And even if it does, realize on the 4 hour, right? I mean on the 1 hour, what you're gonna see is it have this crazy wick and then push down to this downside. So when I go to the 15, I'm actually seeing that happen. When this starts going red again, that's when I can jump in. But that's why I'm keeping it here, because I realize it's still going to build up some momentum. Because realize it takes 4 15-minute candles to build on that 1 hour. So even though we have a momentum as far as it might build up bullish right now, there's going to be some pullback, and that's when we jump in. So it's going to build up, okay, and then shoot. The market structure should not change as far as, even on the 15, we got to see it, respect that. You know what I'm saying? The 15 is what we want to look for, because we already seen the indication. It broke out. It closed under here. But now it's wick. But notice the wick is building. So it still show you like I'm still being bearish. Notice it's not like the trend is reversing. Realize this wick is up here. But it's fighting because ultimately it wants to build a little bit of resistance, right? So what I can expect is a 15 here, a 15. Because we already had this big red push. So overall, it's going to build 2 probably 15s here. But then that last 15 is going to build back down. So it's just being patient. Like it truly takes patience and training. Because if you chase the money, if you're like, oh, I got to make so much money right now, what would you do? You would be in this trade trying to get it. But notice how it's still building down. Ox Jod Live. How you doing, bro? How are you doing? I appreciate the 5 viewers in the stream. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're just being patient. We are being patient right now. You notice how the 3 minutes is about to form, and now it's pushing more down. Don't get faked out, because it still has to build some type of green momentum. And we know, okay, if it's going to continue, it would be right down here, right? And now we got to be like, okay, I'm going to move my TP down to, what was my TP support? 1265. Boom. So that's where we know, okay, if it breaks this, it's continued that down drift. Ooh, hold on. But realize it's about to close, so I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant. See, this is why I'm hesitant. See, because when towards the end of the candles, what I realize is that's when it moves the most. Like it might show you this because it's faking people out. Oh, it's going green, boom. But notice it's building back up, because overall the market on the 15 is built. The 1 hour is built by the 15. So what it's showing you is here. What is it trying to do? It's trying to confirm this, because ultimately it wants to push down. Bro, why you too, brother?
I just got funded.
You good, bro? You good? Why'd you trade it though? You ain't hear me say don't trade it. Gosh. It's good, bro. It happens to the best of us, bro. It's all good. Yeah, I can hear you. Bro, that's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Down 30 down. I was like, ooh. I ain't trying to be there at no 5, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's OC. That's like OC. Bro, you good, bro. I done did the same thing, bro. It's easy to say one thing, but it happens to the best of us, bro. It's good. Because I'm about to get funny. We good, bro. We good, bro. It does not matter how many L's you take, bro. Because like I said, it's a lesson, bro. Don't view it as a loss. View it as a lesson, bro. It's what you learn. Okay, I'm not going to make sure I'm not trading liquidity sweep. Cool. It's easy, but that's what I'm saying. You see earlier, I traded the same thing. That was not a liquidity sweep, but I almost took it. I had to cut my losses at 50. But now I'm up money because you gotta be disciplined with that. But it's cool, bro. It's no preaching at you after, like, bro, it happens. It's cool. Next day, you feel me? We just gotta keep building. It's like, don't let a lesson define you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it was a lesson. If you learn from it, it's a lesson. Because it's doing a liquidity sweep on the 15. Because if you watch my stream now, I don't know like where it's showing, but right now what it's doing, you see this wick coming up here. It's holding above this because it wants to go red, but it's still 40 minutes there. So it's going to keep playing bullish on this 15 to build up momentum, but then that lasts. So what I've learned is the liquidity sweep normally be like 15 to 30 minutes. But then that last 15, when it breaks your level again, you got to jump in. Like even right now, the fact that it's turning, it's like, I don't know if it's going to push all the, bro, I did not mean to move that line. I don't know if it's going to push all the way back to my level all the way up here anymore. I think it might just, bro, stop moving my thing and move the stop loss, like my limit. Okay. So what I realize is when it builds up, right, it's going to do its liquidity. But you got to realize is that if it pushes all the way up here, better entry. But at the same time, it might just push here. So this is a safe level where I could be like, okay, if it goes red here and breaks above here, I'm taking the sell there. But notice now it's pushing because this is what the momentum where it gets people. Bro, stop going off. Now this a specific. Alright. But it's because ultimately the market is trying to build into here. So now I'm looking, okay, boom, I can get my other entries. So now I'm like, bad. So I'm looking here. Alright, bro, just get me straight into the. Yeah, liquidity sweeps be holding for like 15 to 30 minutes, I realize. Like, even now it's still pushing up. It's going to push up for a minute. Like, and that's what I realized, like, if you, it's okay though, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's how I blew my funded account. That shit, I got kind of liquidity sweeping. That junk sucks, bro. Like, people don't tell you how bad that junk hurt, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hear cried, bro. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I did cry with God. Like, I'm talking to him about it, bro. I'm sick. But you gotta realize, like, that taught me an important lesson. Now I can be disciplined to wait. Because now I realize, okay, boom, it's gonna push back, and when it does, I'm in there, bro. I'm in there. There's no hesitation. When it breaks this level again, I'm in there. Because that shows me it's pulling down. So if you're watching, I don't know if you have my stream pulled up, but I can stream even on Cord. Oh, you're looking? Okay, so you see how it's doing this liquidity, right? You see how the wick was all the way up here and then pushed here? This wick will probably come either close to it or break a little above it, right? As you just see it does. It breaks above it. Because what the liquidity sweep is doing is this. So the 4 hour is formed by this, right? So overall, we know what is it looking to do on this 4 hour? It's looking to, bro, hold on. Let me use this. It's overall looking to make this higher low to continue this pattern. Notice the high. Okay, hold on. Let me just redraw this so it's better looking. So we see, what has it been doing? It built up, it built down, it came pulled up a little bit, and then it came all the way down. So now, what do we see? Lower highs, lower highs, lower high, right? So lower low, lower low. So what we can expect is this to come close to it, right? And then pull back down. And what you got to realize is, like, here, it kind of looks crazy. You're like, whoa, why would it, bro? I hate when I draw this back. My bad, gang. I'm buying now. boom, boom, boom. So now it's going to make a high slightly above that, and then it's going to push. But realize too, yeah, it could. It definitely could. But at the same time, you realize, what is this doing? Overall, here, let me just go ahead and let me close it. Yeah. Look, okay. Let me go to the 4 hour. But you got to realize, what is it trying to show on the 4 hour? It's trying to show a higher low. Realize, for it to keep structure on the 4 hour, what does it do? Push it down, boom, 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 boom. This is pulling up, and then that. So that's what we can look for on the 4 hour, right? So that's the structure of the 4 hour. Now when we go down to this 1 hour, now we're looking at this structure. Now notice what it's doing. It's been consolidating, broke out. Consolidating, broke out. Notice what it did here. What happened? It broke, and then it pushed up. And what we can see also is this. Say I want to zoom out so you can kind of see a farther view. Push, push, right? Notice the volume. This is all low volume. And then it pushes down. This is still low volume. So it pushes up, then it pushes down. So now we've seen lower lows, lower lows. This could still be a lower high as long as it doesn't hold above this. That's why I have this line. It's still respecting structure as long as it doesn't break above this. If it doesn't close above this, it's still playing structure because this is a lower high. So even if it goes right here, this is still respecting structure. So what we got to realize is a lot of people be like, oh, it's building up right here. Well, to me, it's not really building up because it still hasn't broke this structure. Now, if it closes above here, now we could be like, okay, it's probably building up. And we already had an indication over here. So that's where I'm saying my alert, okay? Boom. If it breaks above here, I'm taking buys to this upside, right? But if it closes like what it's doing right now, a wick, I'm like, oh, what this is showing me is this probably really not even trying to build up there for real. What is it doing? Notice on the 15, you get a better idea of what it's actually doing. It's making, here, now I'm going to show you the 15. Boom. Higher low, right? Lower low, lower high, even if it comes all the way up here, and then lower low. So you see what I'm saying about the correction. You had the breakout. Now this is the correction. Correction is when it pulls the opposite way before it shoots. Because this is where volume is. So what you got to realize is the market plays off the 1 hour. So it's 2 15s for the, no, 4 15s. Notice 1, 2, 3. So we have 2 that will be green. What can we expect this next one to be? Red and shooting down. So that's why I'm waiting for when it breaks this level. I'm still looking for a sell here. Because I'm like, okay, boom. At this point, it already would have tested this stop loss value, right? And I'm trying to take my limit. I'm trying to get in here. And now I'm taking profits to my, I think it was 260 or something. 270. Yeah, as close as I can get to. So now what you can see is, where's my little text box? I don't know where it went, but I remember it was something 260 or something. So now what I realize is, notice how these wicks are still building up. So when it breaks under and makes a red, now I know where it's going. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not tripping if it keeps folding green. I'm still looking for sells because it's still playing this box. If it was looking for buys, it would have broke out this box by now. But notice it's still looking to form that. So on a 1 hour, what is that forming? Notice this. Notice how it's still making these wicks. It's not forming body up here, but it's making this wicks. Notice what happened here. You see this what I'm saying, Mill? You see how big this wick was to the upside? And then it formed down here? This didn't form until like 5 minutes left. So what you got to realize is it's doing it now. It's still on a downtrend overall. It's just making these higher lows to fake people out. So people that don't know, they're going to trade this and they're going to be like, oh, it's still going bearish. You take a bullish push right now, right?
Where do you think about hopping back in?
Right at this level. Because I know it's going to,
What level is it? You don't think it's gonna push all the way back up to the top of the red?
not really. Because either way, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to break here. Because once it's showing me red and it breaks this level, I think it's going to pull all the way down here. And since I get in here, it's going to go. Because notice, it's pushing above. So right now, since it's green, I'm not looking to take a sell. I'm waiting until it shows me green. Because realize the 15 is accurate right now because I already have my, you see how I have my lines marked? It's playing that structure. Look, it made the wick. Now it's trying to build back. It's getting towards the end of this, 36. So I know that towards the end of this, once it breaks over here, it's probably going to hold under there. So I'm just waiting. Okay, boom. I'm gonna let it keep doing what it does. But on this next time it breaks here, going red, I know it could go here, it could go here. It's trying to just keep in the structure. What is the structure that is showing me? Boom, higher low, boom, higher high. Like, so that's what I'm expecting. Even if it goes up here, it still wants to make this lower low. So it's just keeping the market structure. Overall, you're using the market structure at a higher time frame. What is it looking to do? Higher high, higher high. So I'm waiting for it. Okay, boom. But you don't care if it breaks under, if it's, you still don't take a sell even if it's green and goes under this level. Because realize, as long as it's showing green, it can still be pushing up. Notice, that's why I'm not taking any sells. But when it goes red again, I know it's trying to make a lower low. So I'm letting it build. And if it's like, okay, it starts going red here, because not every time is your liquidity sweep going to push all the way back to this value. Notice, it would have stop lost me out if I got in. That's why it's so important to get out on liquidity sweeps on prop firms, because you can't hold it all the way up here. You know what I'm saying? You can't. So notice, it already tested here. So when it forms under here, I'm like, oh, well, I know it's not going back up through here to test again. So I'm like, okay, boom. But what I realize is, since there's 5 minutes left, it can still build another green candle because it's still overall building up momentum. Until we see red on the 15, we're not going to take trades because what is it showing on these higher time frames? This is what we need to see red. Notice, what is it still building up? It's still building up positive. But because these wicks are showing wicks up here, it shows me it still wants to go bearish. So I'm just waiting for this. This is kind of your confirmation. You do not want to trade against this. Since it's green right now, it shows me still making a liquidity sweep. But realize it's because on these higher time frames, what does it need to show? It needs to build some momentum. So it has that wick and then it shoots down. So realistically, we might not get an entry back here. It might close and turn red. If it turns red down here on this next candle, I'm like, okay, I might have to change my entry down here and move it down here. Oh my goodness, stop moving that. I'm gonna have to put my limit down here, you know what I'm saying? Okay, here, let me take this alert off. It's pissing me off. Okay. But that's why we just gotta be patient. That's why I'm saying the market's gonna show you where it wants to go. I'm not trading the liquidity sweep. So I'm waiting for it to build. Even though it's playing down here, it could build up still. So I'm just waiting. 3 minutes left means that it's gonna be pushing the opposite. What you got to realize is towards the end of these candles closing, that's where it moves the craziest. It moves the craziest because it wants to fake you out. But that's where you just got to be patient. And that's why I'm saying patience is so key in this market, because everything will show you where it wants to go. It's just, are you listening to what the market's showing you? Okay, bro, hold on. I'm trying to find where that box was that I made. Okay, boom. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Panda does have a way of doing it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Can't even be surprised. It'd be good going down though, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That is a pretty consistent thing I've noticed. I don't know. But see, it's still pushing. And that's why I realized that I'm probably going to be able to get this entry, because it's probably going to hold above here, and then it's going to go red. So then once I see red here, I'm like, okay, now it's going down. Because what did it do? It tested all the way up here. Because overall, it's still looking to build down. Notice it wants to build down. So like that last 30 might just be all bearish, whatever it is. I don't know that. That's why I'm just kind of reading what the market gives me. But overall, I know that it made a low, it's trying to make a higher low. Boom, and then it's going to continue. Market structure does not change based on if you're on a lower time frame. It's still got to respect it. The market cannot move without market structure. That's why I trade price action, because if I know it's looking to make a higher low, I can attack that. You know what I'm saying? And I can wait for it. Every L was a blessing. Okay, back to finishing this chapter though. It says, and the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel from Ekron even unto Gath, and the coast thereof did Israel deliver out the hands of the Philistines. And there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life, and he went from year to year and circuit to Bethel, Gilgad, Mizpah, and judged Israel in all those places. And in his return was to Ramah, for there was his house, and there he judged Israel, and there he built an altar to the Lord. So we see, you remember, early on in Samuel, God said that he would take him a faithful priest. Samuel was that faithful priest. Eli didn't know that at the time, but that's what it was, you know. So notice here, this is where I feel like they be kicking a lot of people. So towards this minute, you see it start pushing, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get in. No, bro, wait for it to close, because ultimately, even if it's going red, that next candle could open up down here, but it could also open up here. And this is the entry I really want. But it's like, if it opens down here, I can also just move my stop loss. Boom. You know what I'm saying? But one thing is to just be patient, because it's building up. It's just when it's about to close, it's going to move crazy because it's trying to confuse people. So what I really wanted to do, I wanted to pull all the way up here so I can get my same entry and to ride it there, you know? So let's see if it can hold above there and then shoot, or if it's just going to shoot from there. Because if it breaks under here, we know where it's going, you know? Mm-mm. Come on, where we going? Where we going? Notice it's still a liquidity sweep. That's what I'm saying. Because realize a liquidity sweep. See, hold on. Notice it's building these wicks, but now you see where this wick is? It's all the way up here. So now I'm like, okay, if I see a sell here, take profit. I'm gonna take it to, what was it? 1265. So 70. Stop loss. Now I can see it's pushing. So it's like, okay, overall, I know if it breaks this line, where is it trying to go? Down here. So it's just trying to get an entry on this. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Bro, we just gotta get in. Bro, hold on. Let me see. Right here. I just want to make sure my line's right so I don't have to keep redrawing it. Bro, I thought I was just going to jump in. It didn't jump me in. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, here, I'm going to just jump in down here. We're just going to take it to this. I'm taking it at where it was just at. So when it breaks this level, I'm jumping in. You notice what is it showing me on a 1 and 4? It's showing me 4 is building red. 1 hour is slowly building up too. So it's just waiting for it to break again. But notice we're watching this. So what I realized is it could fight this one, but then the next one's going to build down. Because the same way this took 2 is going to probably take 2. I realized, like, for me, I'm just trying to get a good entry where I know, okay, this was the last time it was bull. So what I realized is this going to push. Like, when it breaks this line, it's going to push. So it's just marking this line to be able to hit my desired outcome. I'm keeping my stop loss up here because it shouldn't play here. So it's like, if it goes here, bro, all right, we're in. So now it shouldn't pull back. So if it pulls back negative 200, we're getting out because it shouldn't be pulling that far back. So now we're just letting it play. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm holding this one because this is the setup. This is where I'm not panicking because I've seen it. 1 hour. What is it doing? It's still building. 4 hour. Boom. Jumped in a little early, so if we go up profit, I'm going to just get out and then re-enter. But as long as we're not going like negative 200, I'm fine with it because it's still overall pushing. Just right now, it's like the entry isn't exactly ideal, but you know. Okay. So notice I got out early because I didn't like where that entry was. So now I'm gonna jump in now because I have further confirmation of where that entry was. So 291. Yeah, I know. Let's just not rushing to get into it because ultimately you know where it's going.
Wait, so you're not in yet?
Nah, not yet. I'm gonna get in. It's just waiting for it. Pull back a little bit. Okay. Let me make sure it's showing full. We want to see it showing red on this. Okay, now it's safe to jump in. Bro, put me in. God. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I'm not gonna say. There.
You in?
Yeah.
You up?
I'm down right now, but it's just pulling up and down. You know how that goes. Mm, 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 mm. See, now is where it's just important to hold and wait because now we know, okay, it's not pulling my stop loss all right up here. So now I'm letting it play because the market already showed me. It revealed his hand. So now it's going probably just smack my TP, but it's just being patient. When it goes profit, we take profit. Not tripping because look, on a 4 hour is going down, on a 1 hour is going down. So now I'm just watching it. Okay, boom. And notice why it's moving like this. It's because it's moving because it's 10 minutes left. It wants to stop loss people out. Now this trade I'm holding because all the signs are showing me it's going. So I don't care if it goes negative 300, whatever. For this one, because look, I have the confirmation on the higher time frame. Oh shit. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Because I ain't gonna lie, it should not be pushing this much. We got over 800, I'm out. I think it's a fake out. But we're going to be patient. If that junk goes over 800, I'm out. 800, I'm out. If it goes 800, I'm out. 500 is one thing because it's trying to fight its way up. If it goes 800, I'm out. Yeah, I don't care. 800 is crazy. Okay. We're a lot more. That jump was scary for a second. It was definitely scary. It should not be pushing that much. Let's see. 800, we out. See, the fact that it's pulling up but it's not getting to 800 shows me it's still trying to go down. This is where people get stop loss out. My stop loss is all the way there. My personal limit is 800 though. If it goes down 800, it's like, what are we doing? Because it should be pushing. But I realize it's because this is about to close in 8 minutes. That's why I'm okay with holding. As long as we don't go over 800. If we go 800, I'm taking. Because now I'll be down for the day. But overall, I'm still thinking it's holding. 6. Okay, let's see. 8. If it goes 8, we out. Lord Jesus, if it goes 8, I swear I'm out. I'm not even playing with it. But I truly believe. Nope, we out. We out. Yes, I hopped out. Because we rather cut our losses early than lose too much. So what you got to realize is now, okay, I'm like, boom. That play's still here. It's still doing look good. Because I'm not letting myself get TP'd out as far as that. So what I'm doing is now, I'm like, okay, boom. Watching it for, what is it showing me on 4? It's showing me it's still green. 1 hour. Okay. So I realize this is still potentially the correction. But I'm still looking like, for me, I'm not letting a loss make me think like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, no, I'm gonna wait. Because now it shows me it can break out here. So now, since we down this, what do we need? 2,000? I think that's 2,000. What 2,000 do? Yeah. So we're looking for a $2,000 play. We're gonna still put it here. We're gonna time it up now. Where we looking to jump right there, actually. Bro, I keep missing my entry. Like, put me in.
that. Nigga, I'd rather wait and find a better setup with Reds. Nigga, fuck that. That shit just, nigga, went from 3 to back to 0 within a second.
100. I ain't gonna lie, I'm definitely getting it. It's just annoying because it's be doing that because the 15 is about to close. But that next when that 15 opens, it's gonna blast down. That's why I'm like the wick is just showing us where it can go. So it's just me. I'm trying to get the best entry so I can ride this joint all the way down. So let's see. 1900. Okay. Mm-mm. Yep, it's still the correction. It's towards the end of the 15. We're gonna see this close though. Just holding this. Wait for this play. Mm, I'm gonna wait for this hour to show me red. Show me a close on this. I'm gonna watch the 15. We don't watch this hour. Actually, should have watched the 15. Oops. It's 3 minutes left. That's why I'm like, come on, come on, come on, pull on. I got a pretty good position. Stay there. Mm, mm, mm.
You in?
Mm-hmm. Because I realize now it's just faking people out. The 15 about to close. He's gonna shoot. So he's just holding it now. So I ain't gonna lie, this is where it definitely can get scary, but it's like, bro, I trust. I know where I'm going. This, oh, this is how I lose, this is how I lose, but I'm pretty sure it's headed down. Not gonna lie. So I'm gonna hold it. I'm not gonna hesitate this time. I ain't gonna lie. I done missed entries time and time again because of fear. This one will hold because this. I did that analysis, bro. Come on. In it, yo. Come on, come on, come on.
I was looking at your screen behind.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm down negative 300, but I'm holding because I know this next one should shoot. So
How much can you risk?
I don't even know. I don't even want to check. I'm gonna just hold it because I ain't gonna lie. If that's how I blow it. That's how I blow it. But this one, I'm like, come on, bro. Then did the analysis. Don't do me like this.
Motherfucker might be reversing.
It could be. Fuck. Fuck. It was reversing. Fuck, bro. I'm down 1,300 today. Fuck. Shit's pissing me off because what the fuck is it doing? Like, why is this shit doing this bullshit? Like, now you're telling me it's making a higher low still? Like, no way a liquidity sweep just lasted that fucking long. Oh, excuse my language, chat. Like, that's annoying, bro. That's actually annoying. It's good, bro. I'm gonna make this shit back, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If that shit gets blown, it gets blown. I don't even care no more. I'm not gonna lie. Is this shit? This gotta be the higher low at this point, bro. I'm gonna just hold it. If that giant achievement hits it, it's for me at this point. That's how I'm feeling. Cause I ain't gonna lie, it's like all signs are going down. It's gonna just keep stop lossing me out now, bro. I'm a little annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like this one. I'm really at the point where I'm gonna let it rock. Like, pulls back, it pulls back, but go ahead and pull back. All this to form negative all the same. I don't understand how that just happened, bro. It's like every sign was showing it was going bull. And it's still building it. That's what's pissing me off. It's still building to the downside. I gotta use the bathroom. It's good. I'm at the point where like this junk is literally not doing nothing it's supposed to. So if this is like, bro, is this making a higher low? Like, what are we doing? I don't know why the market's not respecting market structure. Shit's been making it. Okay, so this the higher low. So if it breaks under it, this should be like, you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. Make it back in one place. Just it's good. Okay, that made the lower low. All right, so we're looking for a higher low. We're just gonna keep this structure. I thought it was gonna form under, but it didn't. So it is what it is. We lost last set, still taking the trade. So I'd be lying, chat, if I told you it wasn't annoying. Like, made this higher low, so pull down higher low. So even by the 15, what should come next? It should be a lower low. So if that doesn't happen, bro, I'm gonna be pissed because I don't understand how that works. Excuse me. Unless it's switching trends. Like, this doesn't just switch to, excuse me, uptrend. Ooh, actually, um, it might have just been building up. So this can form green, right? And then it can shoot down. So this is what the play we're looking to get in next is if it breaks under this line again, we're original entry and we're gonna take it to this. It's already been here, so just cutting our losses. Like it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Every I took today has been OB. It went under 200 and instead again I just was hoping it was gonna go. So I lost my account previously, so it is what it is, you know. You just know now moving forward if it goes under 200, take it because dang, bro, that junk sucks. Especially because it's like I'm watching the chart. It's not like I just be guessing, bro. Like I really do be watching the chart, so it annoys me when that type of stuff happens. But you gotta realize, like everyone has a day. You can't let a loss make you just start breaking all your trading rules. So I realized, okay, it's showing me higher low here. So just land the market. Okay, boom. This is the higher low. It's about to form on 8. So now we're gonna see. Is it gonna pull down? You just look at the structure. I don't know what this one is. I'll delete that. 4 hour. It's making a higher low. Cool. Okay. So now when we look at the one, so the 4 hour is green, making a higher low. 1 hour is making a higher low. So I know when it breaks, it should be going down. So that's what I know. But let's read the word of God because yeah, it's easy to get annoyed. It says, and it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second Abiah, and they were judges in Bathsheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside from lucre and took bribes and perverted his judgment. So now we see, just like Eli's sons were rebelling against God, now we're seeing his sons rebel against God. So we see it's pretty common for this to happen, you know. Just because you lead, like show your kids a good way to lead doesn't mean they're going to necessarily listen to it. So that's important to note. That we already see them start falling their head. But it says, and then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said, behold, thou art old, and now thy sons will walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. So they wanted to be like the nations to have a king. It says, but the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. So realize when Samuel got mad, he didn't curse the people. He didn't get mad at them and crash out. He consulted the Lord. So it shows us his heart posture was, okay, I'm going to go to God instead of just snap how I feel like snapping, you know? I think that's powerful because, like, even now, like, I'm going to be honest, bro. Being up, I was up 300 today, and now I'm down 1,300 because this shine just reversed. And it showed no signs of reversing. Like, it was no reason it should have reversed. But the market sometimes just cooks you, bro. But it's like, bro, realizing, like, okay, if it still breaks, because now what do I see? Okay, now I see it's made a higher low. It's making a higher low. Now I could be like, okay, where's that showing me? That this next one should be a lower low. So it's just realizing now, okay, boom. But realizing it could also shoot up here and then come down. What I hope is that it closes above, it shoots above, and then starts forming this new downtrend. But we'll see, because I'm not going to lie, the market's been faking me out today, which is not usual, you know what I'm saying? Normally I'd be a profit, like I'd be done trading dang near by now, but you know, sometimes the market waxes us all, so it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So you can't have the good and be happy when you win it and then be angry when you lose it, you feel me? Let's finish this chapter. It says, and the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of thy people and all that they have said unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, for I shall not reign over them. So this is them saying they want a king instead of worshiping God. They didn't view God as their king. They wanted an earthly queen. It says, according to all thy works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of Egypt, even unto this day, whereby they have forsaken me, and have served other gods, so do they unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. So he's like, hey, you should tell them like they shouldn't get a king, but at the same time provide it if that's what they ultimately want, you know? And when God is saying this, it's because he knows what's good for them. He knows this king is actually going to do them more harm, because the king ended up being Saul, and we see starts off nice and it fails. But this is what we see Samuel do in response to what God just told him. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint them captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of chariots. And he will take your daughters to be Confucius, and to be cooks and to be bakers, and he will take your fields and eat your vineyards and your olive trees, even the best of them, and give them to his servant. So he's saying he's like going to take your stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be a good king, but they're not listening. And it says, and he will take the tenth of your seed and your vineyards and give to his officers and his servants. He will take your men servants, your maid servants, your goodliest young men and your asses, and put them to work. You will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry on that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. He's like, hey, I'm warning you right now. You don't really want a king, but if you choose that king, realize that you're going to have to live with that, you know? So it shows us, like, sometimes God's going to tell us, like, hey, you choose to make that decision, you're going to have to live with it. And then this is where I'm getting hyped, because look, it's waking up here, so it should be pulling down now. I expect this last 4 minutes, it should start pulling down. It shouldn't close all the way up here in you, right? Like, I believe it's going to close green because the 1 hour wants to have that data for the 1 hour. But the next candle should shoot down, bro. If it does not shoot down, I'm gonna be so shocked. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna be like, oh well, I don't know. And it says, nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nay, but we will have a king over us, that we may also be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us, and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go every ye man unto the city. So now we see God is telling them, hey, you shouldn't do this. He's telling them, hey, you shouldn't do this. But what are they doing? Oh, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to do what I feel like. Yeah, sound familiar? I feel like we do this on a daily basis, bro. Do this on a daily basis. And I'm not going to lie, it's so easy to look at the Israelite people and be like, dang, why would they do that, bro? We do on a daily basis. It's like even me. I said I was going to get out when I got 200. Then I made it 800. And now I'm down 1,300 because of my own pride and ignorance. And it's like, bro, that's really where I realize, like, you gotta mark the charts, but if the market's showing you, bro, you down negative 200, you should not be down at negative 200 on a winning trade. And I always tell myself this, but I broke that today. So it's just like, still just seeing that the market's gonna show me is going down, or if it's just like, all right, we pushing up, like. But yeah, bro, it definitely sucks, bro, to blow that much money, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, you gotta be okay with the wins. You gotta be okay with the losses. You feel me? So I'm gonna end the stream at 8. So after this candle, but I'm hoping this candle forms green and then it starts shooting down. But we will see, bro. We will see. The market is doing. Because overall, it's still showing higher lows, lower low, higher high. So boom, that's what we want to see. But we'll see. This is what the 4 hour showing. This is the higher low for that. The 1 hour showing this is the higher low too. So this is why I realized, like, this could be really good for entry, because now when it closes, it could form and break under here and then push down to here. So now what I'm doing is I'm not tripping now. I'm down right now. I'm still waiting for the market to show me. It's still wicking up here. So it shows me if it closes above here, it could start building down and then cross this line again. So I'm waiting for this to close, and now I'm going to set another alert for taking a sell to this. Take a sell to TP. So the same way I lost this money is the same way I can make it back on this. Because now the market gave me more evidence. Okay, boom. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling it was going to do that. Okay. We're going to let that alert go off. It has to finish forming this candle, because during this candle it broke. But honestly, for me, I'm excited seeing that it's wicking and still pulling down. Because what it shows me is it's still respecting the structure. overall, whatever we see on the 15 is still building this. Lower high, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This is that lower high, lower low. So we're definitely still respecting structure. It's just like we got kind of liquidity sweep. I thought the liquidity sweep was over. That's on me. I jumped in on the liquidity sweep still. I was just talking about like how you don't do that, but it happens to the best of us. Like I'm not perfect in just knowing everything. You know what I'm saying? I still make my own mistakes, but you can learn from it. It's just like boom. Okay, now we're pulling up. It's like okay, boom. What are we doing? But we can realize is the same way it's pulling up. Okay, let's see. Is it really building up? Because if it's building up here, we can see that this trend is potentially switching. And now I'm gonna set the alert here. Boom. Okay, now if it crosses, take this. So now we're once again letting the market show us. Okay, boom. I'm not gonna lean on my own understanding and force trades anymore. I'm gonna wait. Okay, why is this alert not going off? I have to delete it and then make it again. Yeah, that's showing definitely lagging. I hate that this is why I hate prop firms. Like I truly do hate trading on prop firms. Like I ain't gonna lie, I can't wait till I get my live account because bro, this junk is tedious. Like the way that it's just lagging. But now look, it's showing me okay, it might be building up. But if we break this line now, we done seen an indication this way. We done seen an indication this way. This is where we like, okay, boom. I done seen it break out. If it breaks down again, we in there. So, yeah, bruh. I see the problem.